नमस्कार दोस्तों, आज हम कंपनीज एक्ट का एक छोटा सा टॉपिक डिस्कस करेंगे विच इज रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ चार्ज एज पर कंपनीज एक्ट। एज पर सेक्शन 2 सबसेक्शन 16 ऑफ कंपनीज एक्ट, चार्ज इज डिफाइंड एज इंटरेस्ट और लियन ऑन प्रॉपर्टी or asset of the company or any of its undertaking. If you consider charge, it basically has three distinct features. Number one, it has two parties. One is creator of the charge and second is holder of the charge. Secondly, subject matter of the charge is asset of the company, which may be the current asset of the company or the future asset of the company. By current asset, I do not mean current asset per se, but assets which are existing at present point of time. And thirdly, there is an agreement between the parties showing intention of the borrower to charge his property for the purpose of servicing of interest and principal of the debt taken by him. Now if we move forward, we will find there are two kinds of charge. One is fixed charge and second one is floating charge. Fixed charge is basically which is on a certain and defined property of the company or its undertaking, or which is capable of being defined or ascertained, whereas the floating charge is not on any particular asset of the company but on a type of asset of the company like stocks or debtor. It's a floating charge. Then moving on to section 77, which caters to registration of charge. It basically talks about creation of charge on property or asset of the company or its undertaking which is created outside India, or on a property which is situated outside India but created inside India, whether the property is tangible or intangible property. So for the purpose of creation of charge, there are two forms. There are basically 9 forms, but two forms for registration purposes. Form CHG1 is for registration of charge for other than debenture, and form CHG9 is for creation of charge with respect to debentures. So what happens once you create a charge, you have to file this form within 30 days of creation of the charge. In case for some reason you are not able to file the charge within 30 days of its creation, then there could be two possible scenarios. You will have to, in any of the scenario, you will have to pay the additional fees. In one scenario, in case the charge is created within 300 days of notification of Companies Amendment Bill 2019, or in case the charge could not be completed within 300 days, within 6 months of notification of Companies Amendment Bill 2019. The charge can be registered subject to additional fees. So this is applicable in case of a charge which are created before introduction of Companies Amendment Bill 2019. Suppose there is one charge which is created after introduction of Companies Amendment Bill 2019 and 30 days period has lapsed, then also you can register that charge within 60 days of its creation, subject to payment of additional duties. However, if you fail to register the charge within these 60 days, you will also get additional 60 days subject to payment of ad valorem fees. So this is how you can create and register a charge as per section 77. Now moving on, once you register a charge, what type of particulars has to be mentioned in the creation of charge? You need to mention the date and description of the charge, type of charge, amount secured, date and resolution authorizing the creation of charge, property description. If there is any existing charge on the property, that also needs to be mentioned in the charge document. Deed of charge has to be provided, principal or predominant terms and condition has to be specified, and name and address of the charge holder has to be there. So these are the particulars of charge which needs to be mentioned. Now who can register the charge? See, there, as you know, there are two parties only. One is company, that is one company or one person would be creator of the charge, and one would be charge holder. In case the company who is creating the charge on its asset, the company needs to register the charge within 30 days. Suppose for some reason the company is not able to register the charge within 30 days, then charge holder can approach the ROC post 30 days. Then the ROC will give the notice of 14 days to the creator of the charge, and after having its reply, the charge will be registered, and any charges which are incurred by the charge holder in this case has to be borne by the charge creator. So that is provided under section 78. Now section 80 is there, which provides for deemed notice of charge. Suppose you acquire a property from a company whose charge has been duly registered under section 77, then in that case you are supposed to have the notice of the charge, and you will be acquiring that property subject to the terms and condition of that charge. So you cannot say that I was not told about the registration of charge. The property shall be owned subject to the charge which is pre-existing, provided the charge has to be registered as per section 77 of Companies Act 2016. Okay, now comes to satisfaction of charge. There are two sections, section 82 and 83 is there. Section 82 talks about satisfaction of charge by the company. So the company can apply for satisfaction of charge within 30 days. Maximum 300 days period is given. ROC will give the notice to charge holder to reply, so that he can reply within 14 days whether or not this charge needs to be vacated or satisfied. Section 83 is there, which allows the ROC to record the satisfaction of charge if ROC comes to the knowledge that debt has been paid or the charge property has been released by the charge holder. So in that case, ROC can also record the charge after giving the due notice or information to both the charge holder and charge giver. Coming to the various forms which are there for the purpose of compliance in respect to registration of charge. As I told you, form CHG1 is there for registration of charge in case of a charge relates to any transaction other than debenture. Form CHG2 is there, which is a certificate of registration of charge. Form CHG3 is there, which is a certificate of modification in registration of charge. Then form CHG4 is there, which records the intimation for satisfaction of the charge. CHG 5 is there, which records the memorandum for satisfaction of charges. CHG 6 is there, which records notice of appointment or cessation of manager or receiver. CHG 7 is there, which is the register of charge. CHG 8 is there, which records the rectification in register of charge. And lastly, form CHG 9 is there, which is a form for registration of charge in case of a debentures. Now moving on to one serious aspect of this registration of charge. In case of a non-compliance, the company can be liable to pay a penalty of rupees 1 lakh up to rupees 10 lakh, and every officer of the company who is at default can be imprisoned for a term up to 6 months, or with a fine ranging from 25,000 to 1 lakh, or with both. So these are pretty much serious consequences in case you do not comply with the requirement of registration of charge. And lastly, one section is there which authorizes central government, section 87, in case the charge holder or charge creator has not got the charge register, or even if the ROC has not been able to register the charge, then in that case central government is authorized to record the registration of charges. Or in case there is any omission or misstatement which is very old in the register of charge, then that can also be rectified by the central government. Thank you. I hope this deliberation is of a little bit of use to you. This is Hemant Gupta signing off.